Hey there guys, JakeSpace here, and today we're going to be installing DOS on this Dell Latitude D400, and you can't see anything. Yeah, it's kind of overcast and snowy today, so I apologize for that. Hopefully when I turn the screen on, it'll be brighter, but when I bought this computer off eBay, it didn't come with a hard drive. It also didn't come with a power cable either, which the seller neglected to tell me, so I had to buy that too. But I took this hard drive out of my old ThinkPad, which broke, which is why I bought this computer to replace that one. And it slides into the bottom like this and inserts like that. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. This computer doesn't have a disk drive, so I had to use this USB one, and we should be able to boot to the drive. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. Invalid configuration. Whoa. Primary disk drive not found. You just saw me insert it into the computer. Oh, I bet this is gonna be fun. You literally just saw me insert it into the computer. I guess we can strike F1 to continue, I guess. Okay, here's the boot menu. So, the hard drive is gone. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we're gonna go ahead and try to install. Anyway, because the BIOS might be stupid. Okay, continue with the installation. What the hell? Drive C does not appear to be formatted. Do you want to partition your drive? Yes. What? Okay. Okay, it says I didn't have a hard drive inserted, but it's all of a sudden formatting it? I'm confused. Yeah, it says primary what? No. Let's restart the computer without the disk drive connected. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun video. No bootable devices. So what the hell was it talking? What was it formatting? I hope it didn't destroy my disk drive. Okay, we're back, and let's go ahead and try to install once again. Now that it formatted the drive. I'm guessing it's formatting the drive. I'm not sure what's going on here. Continue with the installation. Drive C does not appear to be a partition. What is it talking about? It just did it. What is going on here? Okay, you can clearly see the computer has the hard drive inserted. So what is going on here? Was the connectors bent in here or something? Wait, what's that? Are you kidding me? Is that a card edge connector? What? This is an IDE drive. This is what this computer uses. So why is there a card edge connector in there? Oh my god. Let me look at this video here and see if they're having the same, because that's my exact laptop that I have here. So let me see if this will show us anything. Oh great, now the internet wants to be crappy. Okay, well that video just refused to load, but I looked it up on Google, and apparently you need a IDE to card edge adapter. I have never seen this on any laptop I've ever seen. In fact, I'm about to show you that this is a bunch of garbage. Because, as you can see here, on this ThinkPad that I took the hard drive out of, I might need to get a flashlight for this. But yes, as you can see, on this ThinkPad, the hard drive connector looks like that. So it's just a regular IDE, mini IDE connector. So why in God's name do they use a card edge connector when there's more than enough space inside the computer to put a regular connector? What were they thinking? So now I have to figure out how I'm going to do this. Alright, so I think I found a solution. I'm going to use this flash drive, or rather it's an SD card reader that acts like a flash drive, but it's basically the same thing. And it's a 32 gig card in there, formatted as FAT32, and there's a bunch of games and software on here. And we're going to insert this in the back of the computer. And what I'm hoping we can do is we can just use this as a boot disk, this FreeDOS installation disk, and it should have all the memory managers and things that we need to get DOS running. And we should be able, forgot to connect the power, to just boot straight into DOS and run stuff. It's amazing how some of the most basic of videos, I mean, we're just trying to install DOS on a laptop. It should take like 5 seconds. But it's amazing how the shortest of videos can turn into like hour-long endeavors. All right, we're gonna turn this on. Okay, it keeps saying invalid configuration. Also, the battery on this computer is completely dead. It will not charge the computer for even a millisecond. If you unplug the charger, the computer just goes straight off. So it does not charge the battery at all. And I think the problem is that because the battery doesn't charge, the CMOS is resetting because there's no power. Laptops usually don't have CMOS batteries in them. They use the battery that comes with the computer for the CMOS. And if there's no power to the computer, the whole thing just resets. So I'm not entirely sure that's how it works, but I know that's the case on some laptops. Let's go ahead and try to install it again. I was just going to use a floppy disk for this, but it didn't come with all the memory manager stuff, and we kind of need that. So instead of installing this, we're going to go straight to DOS. And now we just have a DOS prompt. In fact, on this computer, the one with the hard drive sticking out, I'm not using it at the moment. Right now it has XP actually installed on it. It's another Dell computer, amazingly enough. And I did the most redneck crap right here with this. And I'll explain what I did with this computer later, but before I installed XP on here, I used to run DOS off a boot disk. And because it refused to install from the USB drive, even though it can boot from it, which is stupid, but it won't install any files from it. I just had to run it off the disk, but it could still detect the hard drive inside the computer because I had a partition format with FAT32, and that worked. So I'm thinking if we could just use that flash drive over there to get the files, and then use the boot disk to boot the system. I mean, that's a pain, but at least it works. Take a sip of tea here. Okay, now I'm rejuvenated enough to come back here and do this crap. So, it says the FreeDOS installation has been aborted. You might say, why am I using FreeDOS instead of MS-DOS? Well, MS-DOS sucks on computers like this because it really wasn't made for, but FreeDOS is still being worked on to this day, and I'm in the wrong drive. But, so it's more the heck? It's more compatible with computers of the modern era. It's not that MS-DOS doesn't work, and in fact, I have gotten that to work on newer computers, but it takes a lot of effort. But nowadays, I just use FreeDOS because it's simpler to just get up and running. So, and a memory manager and stuff's already installed. So, we can play games like Doom. Let me go to the setup here. One problem is that this computer doesn't have a compatible sound card, so we can't use any music, and we can only use PC speaker noise, and it will work, and it works pretty good, because its processor's ridiculously fast for DOS games, but it works, and as you can see by my health bar, I suck at this game, but that's okay. Oh, I hear the fan going up. How is this game making the fan go higher? It's Doom. You can run that on a potato. I apologize for the shaky cam. Like I said, my tripod broke right before filming this video, so I had no choice but to film it like this, but hey, we're playing Doom, and it works, so I'm happy. But if it can read stuff from the drive, I wonder if it can install stuff to it, too. So we're going to go ahead and try to do that. I have a Windows XP installation disk. It's the most legit-looking XP disk you've ever seen. But, that's probably why my stuff doesn't work. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to install that, because this is not going to stand. I mean, I can use DOS perfectly fine, but I don't want to have to use it all the time. So I'm going to do something more permanent. We're actually going to try to install Windows XP on this computer, onto that flash drive. And we're going to see if we can do that. So we're going to reboot. Okay, since we're booting from the disk, this is going to take 5,000 years because I think this is USB 1.1. So we're gonna be here for a while, but I'm just gonna let this do its thing and get some more tea and some snacks and stuff, and we should be good. It says designed for Windows XP, but I probably should be using 2000 on here, because just because it's designed to use XP doesn't mean it's probably gonna work great with it. I know there's a lot of people that have this particular laptop. They installed 98 or 2000 on it, and we will try that if this doesn't work right. But in the meantime, let's just try to get XP on here because I know that works. Listen to how slow this thing is changing tracks. I mean, look at how slow this is loading. It's loading a file like every second. Barely. We're gonna be here for a while. And it crashed. Great. Oh, man. Well, that's not gonna work. I think it's having a problem copying files to the flash drive. I don't think I properly tested that. I know we can read stuff from the drive, but I don't know if it likes writing to it. It's just gonna crash again when we try to boot the installer, so I don't know why I'm doing this again. But let's just see if it'll make it this time. Oh no, this time it even screwed up on a different file, so it's just crapping out at random. Oh, I wasn't born yesterday. I already know it's not gonna do anything like this, so let's just try to do something else. Alright, so I don't have any 2000 discs on hand, so now I'm gonna have to burn one. Oh my god. Might as well just turn the whole computer off for now. Just go to my big desktop computer. Behold, the big PC. In fact, that's literally what the host name is. Now, this is my main computer. It's a Linux machine. So, you can see my messy desktop. And we can also see a bunch of other stuff. Like a mouse cursor and a gradient desktop background. Ooh. In all seriousness, though, let's just go ahead and get this disk burned on here. I'm not even going to try to boot off a USB and install it. I'm just going to use a disk. Because I know that works. Now, I am kind of worried that if it couldn't copy the files off the disk to begin with, it's probably not going to do the same thing here, but I don't know what to do. Let's just go ahead and try to burn a Windows 2000 disk and hope it works. If that doesn't work, we're going to go even further back and try Windows 98. And if that doesn't work, I'm just going to copy an already pre-install of Windows onto the drive and like DD it over to the drive or do something and try to get this to work, because at the moment we're kind of looking like we're pretty screwed. Alright, we are burning the disk now. Hopefully it works. I had some issues getting disks to burn on this computer. I wasted like 5 freaking disks because it broke them. As soon as you write even 1 byte to the disk, it's no longer burnable and it won't let you burn anything else to it. So I had to waste like 5 discs because it would burn the whole way through, mind you, and then it would lock up, and I would have to unplug the drive just to get it to come back, and it would just sit there for hours locked up, and the disc is now corrupted. So I don't know what to do. We should be good. I turned off the verification process, so it should burn it all the way through without having to eject the disk and reinsert it, so we should be good. Oh no, it's creating a checksum. Why? Nobody told it to do that. Oh. Please don't crash. I don't feel like burning another disk again. If this screws up, I'm gonna just go to this computer right below me and try to burn it on this one. But speaking of this computer, let me talk about what I did. So like I said, I did some redneck hard disk installation here. I mean, look at this. It's just sitting out on the side. So let me explain what I did here. I'm like, oh my god, you never do that to your hard disks. And you don't do that to your hard disk, but I'm going to explain what happened. So in my closet, I have the original drive that was hooked up to this computer. And the reason why it was just a standard 500 gigabyte drive from Toshiba or something. And the reason why I'm not using it, I switched it out with this 100 gigabyte laptop hard drive, is because I corrupted the other hard drive. I converted the disk to dynamic on accident when I was messing with it in the Windows partition manager. And no matter what I did, I could not get it to go back. Because the problem was, I did some pizza partitioning on that drive. I had like 8 partitions on that thing. And I had Windows XP, Linux, and Windows 7 installed. And that was just an absolute, just a mess. and the computer wouldn't even boot to Linux anymore after I installed XP. So I was just screwed. And so I was like, oh my god, I can't use this disk anymore. I'm going to try to get the data off the disk. But right now, I do not feel like doing that. I just want to use this computer again. Because I wanted an XP machine to use. And so I hooked up my old hard drive. I used to use this thing right here to hook it up to my computer. This little SATA to USB adapter. But it wouldn't let me install anything to it with that hooked up to the USB port. So I hooked it in directly to the SATA bus. But there's like a little hard disk container. I can't open the computer right now because the monitor's sitting on top of it. I don't feel like I'm hooking a bunch of wires and crap. But inside the computer is a little hard disk container, and it's for full-size disks, and this thing didn't fit. So, and it kept sliding onto the motherboard. I'm like, oh my god, if that thing slides out while I'm installing stuff, it's going to short out the motherboard. And this is a mechanical hard drive too, so the amount of time before it starts moving is like 0 seconds. So it's just going to shake off the container and just fall into the motherboard and short it out. Because this whole front end here is made out of metal. So what I had to do was I already took the... Oh, it's done burning stuff. I already took the optical drive. That's where this hole is that I'm sticking the hard drive out of. It was the optical drive slot. I took it out because the optical drive was absolute garbage. It would not burn any discs. It would always crash in the middle of burning. And it didn't do well with DVDs at all. The only thing this drive was good for was booting Windows installation disks. If you try to boot a Linux disk, it would fail, and it did kind of like what the other computer was doing, where it would load files off the disk drive and it would say it's corrupted. So it didn't work, even though it was faster. Now the USB drive that I've been using is slow as ass when you try to install anything from it, but it at least works. And I had to use that to get Linux installed on here. Eventually I just started using this thing, which is a compact flash card, and I just booted off that. But right now I'm just using it for extra storage, and to transfer files from this computer to this one. But apparently the disk did work, and my theory was correct that if I turn the disk verification off, it doesn't screw up. So now we have our Windows 2000 disk. Why did I just take out the drive? We're just going to unplug the drive from this computer and put it in the other Dell computer. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, now that explains my redneck hard disk installation process. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and install Windows 2000 on this computer. I shouldn't need to format the drive, and I should be able to keep all my DOS files because it's just copying files from the disk to another FAT32 partition. So, and this is old Windows, so it should work with FAT32. In fact, I know it works with FAT32. Yep, and we're going to be booting again. Please do not crash. I do not feel like having a DD installation over to the flash drive just to get it to boot. Because I don't have one of those fancy SD card to IDE adapters or those compact flash adapters. I don't have one of those. I probably should have bought one of those. Even if I did have the SD to or a compact flash to IDE adapter, I wouldn't even be able to insert it. You know why? Because there's no card edge connector. Why does this have a card edge connector? I have never seen that before on any computer ever. Not even a laptop. Why is it connected to a card edge? But never mind that. Hopefully this loads the files off the drive. It doesn't seem to be crashing. So hopefully this works. Let's just see if it works. It got the install. Windows 2000 professional setup. Oh my god, you have no idea how happy I am to see that screen. Let's go ahead and try to install it. Examining a 30 gig disk on an unknown adapter. Okay, that's not a good sign, but at least it detects the disk. Let's see if we can do it. Alright, let's accept the EULA. Unpartitioned space and FAT32 DOS. Let's just install it. Keep the current file system. Oh my god, it's actually working! Holy crap! Oh, you might actually get to do something today. Holy crap, it's creating folders and it's copying files! Oh my goodness, we are finally going to get this computer up and running. Why didn't I just do 2000 before? I'm probably going to become like Kuji and become another anti-Windows XP activist. Guys, I think we're in the clear for the installation. Start Setting startup information. Updating startup environment. Oh, this is gonna take a while because the rewrite cycles on these flash drives are really small. So, but at least it's working. This is much further than I got with any installation on this computer. So that is good. And we're gonna go ahead and reboot. Oops, I missed the enter button by like 2 inches. There we go. Okay, let's see what we've done. If I destroyed it, we'll find out right now. No, go to the boot me. Go to the boot me because it's going to boot to the CD. Come on now. Boot from... Oh, what? Oh, no. It just did all that stuff and it still doesn't work. Oh, man, I was really hoping for this to work. Oh, no, dude. Oh, oh, no, man, I just can't win today. Well, I guess that pretty much confirms the end of this video. We can't do anything. It will not let us install anything to the drive and boot from it. I mean, it put the files on there and everything, but it just refuses to boot from it. The one thing we actually needed to do. So I'm thinking we should try Linux. But a part of me is telling me to just be done with this. This computer is just not going to work with anything. I'm not prepared to sit here for another hour while it copies files. So we're done. Let's just play some DOS games to at least do something on this computer. At least I know that works. I didn't corrupt the entire drive and should be able to boot the files from it. Yep, I guess you just cannot use a computer without a dedicated actual hard drive hooked up to the bus. And it's still trying to boot from the flash drive? I hope it didn't screw up the entire computer now. Oh man, dude. Okay, it's booting from the CD-ROM drive and it works. So let's try it. And yep, that looks promising. Hi mem, okay. Okay, now we're back at the DOS prompt. So yeah, this is pretty much what we're limited to on this computer. Now you could say, why not use Puppy Linux? That can be used without a hard disk. But here's the problem with that. I don't like Puppy Linux, so I'm not really familiar with it either. I mean, I've used it many times in the past, but I don't want to use it. So we're just screwed because we can't use anything without a hard drive. So I thought I was going to get a 1-up on this computer. Apparently not. So let's just go ahead and play some Duke Nukem and just call this video a fail. Hey, that works. And I can't play the game like this because I can't use the keyboard. Hold on. Hopefully we can do this. I'm going to remap the jump key to the up arrow key. Left shift. What in God's name? That is not what I pressed. It still works though. That's very, very strange. But yeah. Oh, I need to remap that fire key too. No, you piece of junk. There we go. I'm gonna remap the fire key to the control key. So we can at least, I can play the game with one hand like that. There we go. We also have cheat codes enabled. So if we type DN1, which is episode 1, or DN2, 3, whatever. I have the full version on here. And you type ASP after the prompt. I have a batch file set up, so I don't have to type all that crap in when I first start the game. But if we type in DN1 ASP, whatever. When you press God on the keyboard like this, you hold down G, O, and D. You get cheat code activated. You get cheat codes activated. And, it then becomes a breeze to get through the game. I don't always play the game like this, but right now I'm just trying to do something with this computer because this video is a complete fail. But yeah, if nothing else works, you can still play Duke Nukem, so that's always a plus. This is one game that like does not crash on any computer that I played it on. Like, I have some issues with other games, but every time I press the direction key, I jump without pressing the up key. That's weird. But this game is like a celebratory game for getting a computer to work most of the time. but computer doesn't work still. So I don't know, dude. Oh, hopefully the next video I make won't be as crappy as this one, because this video kind of sucked, and I'm not even showing whole the screen. But yeah, thanks for watching, I guess, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully the next video will be better than this one.